nicer cross, but you know what? Doesn't really matter. It's above the shoulders.
It's fine. It's fine. So, Manny's cutting. Hi, Manny.
A real person.
Manny's cutting Michelle. Hi, Michelle. And we're doing a little box bob.
Slightly longer toward the front.
Slightly longer towards the front, so what we would call A-line, or some people call triangular. It's just a line, it's not actually a shape. For it to be a shape, you have to have a series of lines connecting. This is just one continual line. So you can see the start of the haircut is a little bit not so traditional. I know that when Manny and I started doing hair, we were taught to cut from the back towards the front. So what we're doing here is we're working from the front towards the back. So you work from the length in the front, so you not do all that guessing work.
Well, you still have to guess, but the other side. And because of the texture of hair, I don't necessarily need a lot of tension. Her hair falls very nicely on its own. So I'm just going to do minimal amounts of tension or no tension. Therefore, a lot less refinement afterwards.
Her hair's so straight. It's quite
Ideal.
yeah. But it could also be tricky too, because of it being so straight. So really allowing for, you know, especially that ear protrusion. It's nice, man.
Thank you. You don't always get the opportunity to work on a live model that wants this look.
Yeah.
Usually they want to keep their hair longer. So it makes my job much more enjoyable.
I bought a lot of clothes, but it was so hot. There's before any clothes. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So I can go and take it. This is cool thing. And I last year, right?
I love it.
Naked
I think if she knew that she was on this right now, she wouldn't be talking about that.
The pain quantity there, everything.
But then I saw my dad was here, and we recognized him right away. You'll never forget something like that.
Rob's client was kind of
Well, he was
the other
great.
day. He's all loud.
Well, it is a salon, so very, very simple thing that Manny's doing here, or at least it looks simple.
Well, it's easy to understand.
Yeah.
This is what I tell people sometimes. I can't even draw a straight line, like on the board, when I've ever tried to. It's so hard. But fortunately, the scissors are straight, so I just use the majority of the blade to help me out.
Exactly, and you're not really using the comb at all. You're just
No.
allowing the hair to fall naturally how it wants to fall. A lot of the times we use the comb just to organize the hair and keep it in position, but you can see Michelle's hair is quite strong. It's not got really much kick to it, so it just falls. And we're just going to keep it kind of everything the same, all down to this line, right?
Yeah.
So no elevation, no direction, no graduation, no layers.
I discussed it with Michelle earlier. She says she's tried layers in the past, but it probably doesn't work.
I could imagine what it does.
I believe that all the weight going out the same place keeps everything under
heavy
control.
and organized.
Otherwise, it might start to flip up.
Yeah.
Let's try this. Another thing that I'm trying to make sure it's her head's in a natural position, not all the way down.
Yeah. You know, and that was, you know, a big thing for me as being an educator was getting over that and not doing that, not teaching that, putting the head forward.
Because that's not natural.
It's just not natural fall, and I don't know why we were wasting time doing that for so many years. Most people don't walk around with their head down. Well, they kind of do now because they're always on their phones, but
They're always on their phone and swiping, scrolling. To me, this is a much easier way to do it long, because it's one of those things that no matter how many years you've done hair, it's always a challenge. It's like you still kind of have respect for this haircut. So starting in the front, the way I'm doing it now, to me just immediately lets me know where I'm gonna end up. So that's where I start. I don't fear it as much as I used to.
Andre the hair artist, fix the upload analysis in Instagram. Yeah, bud, we'll get right on that. We're just gonna cut hair. We'll let the IT people do that.
Right?
Yeah. So sometimes just using the comb to kind of organize it,
Yeah, it's
hold
getting,
it in place.
it's getting much denser here.
Yeah.
Good job. Don't move.
She's all, I don't like it. So if you're just joining us, just doing a real simple box bob, one length line. It's got a slight descent from back towards the front, so really emphasizing the jawline.
I'm not gonna bother with this.
And what we've done is we've started from the front into the back. Instead of working from the back and then working towards the front and trying to play the guessing game. 9 times out of 10, what happens when you start in the back, you cut those first few sections, and then as it moves around into the sides, you realize that you've cut it too short. It's never too long. It'd be better if it was. So this just cuts out the guessing game, starting from the front towards the back. Now just following that line on that last section.
Scissors are really sharp now. They're great for this.
What
I'm gonna
scissors
stop.
are you using?
Oh, funny you ask.
Oh,
The factory ones.
Mizutani factory ones.
Super thin.
Super pen thin.
And sharp.
Really sharp.
Made out of nano powder metal.
Ooh.
Available on Lefty.
Available in lefty, yeah.
Because I am.
And righty. In fact, I'm going to be in San Francisco this weekend doing a class and a demo for Mizutani at Tailored Hair Salon, if anybody's in that area. I'm going to do a kind of a mini Knowledge Destroys Fear class.
The lighting's gonna suck, so I should flip
her around, yeah.
or spin, actually.
So now doing the other side.
take.
Teamwork.
Nailed it.
So again, working from the front towards the back, so working from the desired length instead of trying to guess where to start that in the back. I find this, you know, you're obviously taking your time with it, but it's a relatively quick technique because of the sectioning.
I'm slowing it down a
Yeah,
lot too.
I mean, I can do this probably within like a 3-section bar.
When you don't use a comb, you don't have to do all that tapping up stuff. Because there's no tension to begin with. Now, if her hair is wavy or jumpy, then I probably would have to use a comb. I'm also not trying to get it too perfect while the hair's still wet. I'm just trying to get that line in there as
Exactly.
strong as I can, and then after that blow dry, after the blow dry, then I'll spend some more time getting it perfect, or as perfect as possible.
So just build the house first, decorate later. Nice, man. So I just wanted to do a little mini kind of
Demonstration.
haircut for you guys. Not really that much dialogue to say about it, other than it's just a simple line that Manny's cutting. I think the innovativeness is sectioning in, and he's working from the front now. Some of you guys, that might not be new to you, but definitely not a traditional way of approaching a bob. I started to do that based on like the inside out haircut.
Right, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I was teaching it for a while at Vidal, and then I realized that maybe it was time to move from Vidal because we were playing with different ideas and stuff. And I think that's just the mind of a teacher. Somebody that's constantly tries to innovate the education side of things.
Yeah, it's probably not as many questions asked from this tutorial. It's more just watch and wait.
Hey Tony, please ask Manny any tips on balance. I mean, we get at least asked this all the time. I think the key thing is to always go longer on the second side. When you're starting from the front, it's not as easy as working from the back because the back would be the guide for everything. And you can't really use like facial features and stuff because not everybody is balanced that way. I guess, a lot of people tend to like pull the hair with their fingers and test it that way. But to be honest with you, you just have to let it fall and look at the balance. Balance is a visual thing, it's not a touch thing. So we don't both do the pulling on the hair to check balance because, technically sometimes it has to be longer on one side than it does the other based on head shape.
For it to visually look better.
Yeah, it needs to visually balance. When you look at somebody, you can see the imbalance. You don't have to go up there and touch their hair to find that. You're welcome, Tony. Thanks for the question. So you can see Manny just using the comb to hold that hair in place. Now that he's dealing with more density, it's a little trickier when it comes to this part of the haircut. Especially with the hair that's above the round of the head, because it has to travel over a surface now, whereas below the round it just drops, it just falls. I find that hair easier to cut than when you get up to this kind of stuff up here. If you look at it, it's kind of like how water falls over a waterfall. Gravity just pulls it down. And so that's allowing for a natural fall.
I'm gonna blow dry now.
So now you're going to blow dry?
Yep.
Cool.
And then do the fringe afterwards?
Yeah, we'll do the fringe refinement afterwards. We'll come back. We'll let Manny blow dry. And we'll talk to you guys in a bit. Thank you.